Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, See Through the Script, and I'm back with another decode, but this time I'm focusing on the topic of Saturn worship in our modern day world and how the knowledge of the past has a vast connection to the planet Saturn, or Saturnus in Latin, or Cronus in Greek. If you are familiar with my work, I break down the topics of the past and the present using the ancient Kabbalistic practice of Gematria that stems from Jewish mysticism. It is a practice of coding numbers into letters, thus when a word is spelled out, it generates a numerical value, at which it is used rigorously in conjunction with the date numerology for manifestation rituals across the globe. So stay tuned as we dive into the topic of Saturn, the keeper of time. Alright, so the topic is Saturn, the god of time, or the keeper of time. That is up to interpretation. However, let's take a look at this excerpt here. Saturn, or in Latin, Saturnus, in the Roman religion, the god of sowing or seed. The Romans equated him with the Greek agricultural deity Cronus. The remains of Saturn's temple at Rome, 8 columns of the pronaos porch still dominate the west end of the forum at the foot of the Civilis Capitolinus. The temple goes back to the earliest records of the Republic, 6th century BCE. It was restored by Lucius Munetius Plancus in 42 BCE, and after a fire in the 4th century CE, it served as the treasury of the Roman state. Now, notice to the right, using the practice of Gematria, Saturn equals 21. 21 so happens to be the 6th prime. Notice how they said the temple goes back to the earliest records of the 6th century BCE. And also notice how it stated it was restored in 42 BCE. And Saturn in reversible reduction also equals 42. But again, this is relating to the Roman religion. And notice that Holy Roman Empire equals 187 and 218, and Saturn, god of time, has the same exact value. Now, again, further to connect the Roman connection, Society of Jesus, who operates out of the Roman Catholic Church, has that 187 reverse ordinal gematria, and this is in line with Abrahamic, which equals 187, and it is the Holy Roman Empire that is working their very hardest to have their hands on unifying the 3 Abrahamic religions, which is Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. But also notice how Saturn worship equals 201. This is in line with the Jesuit order, which equals 201, and the Jesuit order has their hands on modern day media and what we see through the TV screens and our internet and what we hear through the radio and music and etc. So allow me to show you those examples as we go further. Alright, to just further explain Saturn, the keeper of time, I have here a Britannica definition to the bottom left. Cronus, also spelled as Kronos, in ancient Greek religion is a male deity who was worshipped by the pre-Hellenic population of Greece, but probably was not widely worshipped by the Greeks themselves. He was later identified with the Roman god Saturn. And then to your right we have author Nir G. Asar, who states Greek was Kronos, the ruler of time, time being the main factor inevitably leading to the death of mortals. Traditional representations of the Grim Reaper originate from the attributes of the god Saturn, who held the sickle with which he slain his father. Alright, now on this slide we're going to be focusing on the Saturn and the black cube connection. Now I just want to touch on this real briefly. In geometry, a cube is a 3-dimensional solid object bounded by 6 square faces. It's very important. Now, from the same author, Nir G. Asar, he goes on to write, the hexagon is a subliminal 2D representation of a 3D cube. The black cube represents the Allspark cube. Loki represents Set, or Saturn/Satan, the ancient Egyptian god of evil, darkness, chaos, war, and conflict. He is seen holding a staff which represents the war scepter. In geometry, a hexagon, from Greek hex translates to 6, is a polygon with 6 edges and 6 verticals. Why are these 6 connections so important? Well, we are discussing the connection between the cube and Saturn, and notice that the phrase Saturn in gematria, the most pure cipher, full reduction, equals 21. 21 is the 6th prime and Saturn is the 6th planet. Okay, so on this next slide, I want to bring up the relevant relationship between the planet Saturn and the black cube in our modern times, and how the symbolism has gone long unnoticed but remains so prevalent. So I figured, what better example to start with other than the Nintendo GameCube? And what you're currently seeing on your screen is the 2001 commercial for the release of the new console at the time. And notice the heavy cube symbolism throughout the advertisement. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Gematria connection with the words GameCube, Saturn, and Jesuit. Remember, the Jesuits operate out of the Roman Catholic Church, and Saturn is a Roman god. Now notice all three words have the 42 connection in the same cipher, and using the rules of numerology, breaking down 42, meaning 4 plus 2 equals 6, and remember, Saturn is the sixth planet, right? So you can see that 6 connection again. Also factoring in that the cube has 6 faces, right? Now, diving deeper into the topic of the GameCube and how it has so much relevancy to the cube symbolism, allow the numerology to show you further. So as you can see, in Japan, it was released in September 14, 2001. And as you can see, the date numerology of that day is 9 plus 14 equals 23. And we're talking about the GameCube. The word cube equals 23 in reverse full reduction. Mind you, it was released in the year 2001. Using the rules of numerology, removing the zeros, it becomes 21. And again, remember, the cube represents Saturn, and Saturn equals 21, Jesuit equals 21, alongside evil equals 21. Saturn is the god of time, or noticed for the destruction and chaos. And also notice how 21 is the 6th prime, and Nintendo GameCube was part of the 6th generation consoles. And again, Saturn is the 6th planet, so the connection just keeps on, digging itself deeper and deeper. So as I continued to look further into the topic of the GameCube, I figured it would be important to see who the CEO of Nintendo was in 2001 during the release of the Nintendo GameCube. And it was a man, as you can see to the left, by the name of Minoru Arakawa. And notice how in full reduction his name equals 56, and this is in direct connection with the Society of Jesus, which equals 56. Alright, so now allow me to further solidify the connection between the former CEO of Nintendo at the time, Minoru Arakawa, and the Saturn connection. And again, remember, this man was the CEO during the time of Nintendo releasing their 6th generation console, which was the Nintendo GameCube, and the cube represents Saturn, and the cube has 6 faces. So see here that Minoru was born on September 3rd in 1946, a day that can be written as 9/3. He was born in Kyoto, Japan, and notice how Japan equals 93 in reverse ordinal, and this is in connection with Saturn, which equals 93 in English ordinal. Now, with the further understanding of the connection between Saturn and the cube, how convenient is it that the CEO of Nintendo at the time of the GameCube's release was born on a 9/3 date numerology connecting back to Saturn? Alright, now check this out. The GameCube was launched in Japan on September 14, 2001. Approximately 500,000 units were shipped in time to retailers. The console was scheduled to launch 2 months later in North America on November 5th, 2001, but the date was pushed back in effort to increase the number of available units. Now see here, from the Japan release to the set date that they were going to have for the North American release was September 14, 2001 to November 5th, 2001 is a span of 52 days. And notice how Kabbalah equals 52 in reverse full reduction alongside Gematria, the practice we're using that comes from Kabbalah. But also see here that hexagon in the same cipher equals 25, which is the reflection. The hexagon is a subliminal 2D representation of the 3D cube. And again, we're discussing the GameCube. Alright, so I wanted to conclude the topic of the GameCube by focusing furthermore on the November 5th release date for North America of the console. And why I wanted to focus on it is because they did push it back to November 18th, but I think they had a very specific reason as to why they wanted it to be November 5th. And see here that the phrase Saturn equals 511 in our Jewish cipher. And remember, Gematria comes from Jewish mysticism. And notice here that the GameCube was set to be released in North America on November 5th, written 5/11, like Saturn equals 511. And it also so happens happens to be the 309th day of the year, leaving 56 days in the year. 309 is the reflection of 903, like 93. Saturn equals 93 in English Gematria. And Nintendo's CEO Minoru was born on 9/3. And again, you could see the connection between Minoru Arakawa and Society of Jesus equaling 56. And this was going to be released initially on the day leaving 56 days in the year. Alright, so moving off from the topic of the GameCube, I'm going to show you furthermore relevant examples of how the Saturn worship and the black cube symbolism is prevalent all across the world. Alright, now according to Britannica, in 930, the black stone itself was carried away by an extreme Shia sect known as the Quarmations and held almost 20 years for ransom. And notice how it's 930, like 93 when you remove the zero, and Saturn equals 93. Think about how Saturn has a ring, and worshippers form a ring around the Kaaba as they worship, walking in circles. Now, check out this article I found from April 3rd, 2012 in the Australian News Post, which stated that there was going to be a black cube designed by Melbourne architects picked for Venice Biennale, and the date numerology had prime numerology of 39 being the reflection of 93, and Saturn equals 93. April 3rd is typically the 93rd day of the year. However, 2012 was a leap year, and I quickly read into the article, and it stated that the project was going to be designed in the years 2014, 2015, and it was actually budgeted at $6 million. And again, remember, Saturn is the 6th planet, and in Gematria, full reduction of Saturn equals 21, which is the 6th prime number. Alright, my next example of a black cube located around the world is the black cube, which was by Jorn Larsen. He built and inaugurated it in 1983. Now notice this is in Denmark Sevenborg, which equals 73 in full reduction. 73 is the 21st prime number, and Saturn equals 21. And notice how it was built in 1983. When using numerology, it's broken down 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 3, which equals 21. Alright, and the last example I got is a Alamo sculpture located in Manhattan, New York, which was built on November 1st, 1967. And again, note the consistent numerical alignments with the gematria of Saturn and these black cubes placed all over the world. Alamo equals 93 in reverse ordinal, connecting to Saturn, which equals 93 in English ordinal, the release year being 1967. Using numerology, once that's broken down, is 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 7, which equals 23, and we're looking at a cube, which equals 23, released in 1967. Alright, for those who have made it this far, I did want to end off this presentation with two last slides. In the second last slide, I named Saturn Fact, and here I just wanted to show people who didn't know that the Romans named Saturday as Saturn Dies, or Saturn's Day, no later than the 2nd century for the planet Saturn, which controlled the first hour of that day according to Vietas Valens. And remember, Saturn is a Roman god. Also factor in that Saturn is the 6th planet and Saturday falls on the 6th day of the week. Saturn in Gematria, the most pure cipher, equals 21, which is the 6th prime number. And now on to my last slide. I wanted to close it out with this statement stating Saturn is the secret god of the occult world. Saturn worship is everywhere, from logos to secret societies. See for yourself. Okay, so with all that being said, I really appreciate all the ones who stuck around to the very end of this video, as it was a long one and we did unravel a lot of information, and I really hope the ones who did watch this video learned and gained something from it. And if you did, be sure to hit that like and comment button, and even if you may, hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot. Also, be sure to follow your boy on Instagram at See Through the Script, as I'm always posting decodes daily, trying to keep y'all up to date with the latest news and the fuckery that the news keeps feeding us. But with all that being said, it's your boy Script, and I'm out of here.